Hi, people are jumping on. I'm a few minutes early. Welcome, everyone. I'm just a couple minutes early. It'll be a few more minutes, and Dr. Cabral, Stephen Cabral, will be on speaking of organ supplements, which is something I'm a big fan of, something I recommend to my patients all the time. My family takes them, I take them. But I just got on here a little early, waiting for him to pop on. So hang tight just for a minute, and we'll go underway. And bear with me too, there's a little change to inviting people on live, so I may stumble for a minute, but hopefully he'll be on in just another moment. So I'm just gonna sit here and sip on my tea as I wait. How was everyone's day? Is everyone good? Oh, here he is. I see him. Let's see. I invited him. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I see you there. Oh, there we are.
Hey, great to see you.
Hi. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I'm a big fan, so it's really nice to sort of in real life meet you.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of real life.
Sort of
it's true.
Real life. You're in Massachusetts?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Is, yeah.
That's so I grew up in Maine, and I went to dental school in Boston. So you're in my neck of the woods.
Oh, very nice. What school in Boston?
Tufts.
Tufts. Yeah, it's a great school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up actually in Medford, Massachusetts, which is the undergrad of Tufts campus, and then the dental school is in downtown Boston. Yeah,
Chinatown.
Great. Yeah.
Well, I know your time is so precious, so I want to get things underway. But again, I just want to say how much I admire you. I'm a big fan of your podcast, The Cabral Concept, and I've taken some of your courses, the IHP courses in functional medicine, and I respect you so much. And you're here to speak about a new exciting product that you have that has to do with organ supplementation, which is something I speak to my followers a lot about as a functional dentist. The importance of the nutrients within organ meats and how we're not getting enough. I'm a big ancestral diet fan, and the work of Western Price, and the importance of all of these things. So I'm sure you have a lot to speak to, but if you could tell us a little bit more about who you are, in case my followers don't know, but then about your product and why you came up with this.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I appreciate you being part of the IHP community, talking about functional, holistic dentistry, biological dentistry, as well as obviously nutrition and how that plays into the overall health of the body, because the whole body's connected, right? As we know, it's not just, the teeth and the gums are separate from the heart, which is separate from the kidneys, which is separate from the adrenals. It doesn't work that way, right? So I read Weston Price's work, kind of getting into this field. I think he's absolutely fantastic. I love Dan Buettner's work with the blue zones. I love all the different studies of what cultures are doing what when things were untouched. Yeah. And because my background is actually, so I'm not going to give the whole story, but I was sick for 10 years, from 17 years old to 27 years old. Autoimmune issues, basically immune dysfunction, type 2 diabetes, Addison's disease, POTS, and rheumatoid arthritis. So it was debilitating 10 years. And the only way that I got well is to just rethink what I was taught for the first essentially 18, 19, 20 years of life with conventional-based medicine. And it's not that there's not a time and a place, but there's just no emphasis on good nutrition and good food and sunlight and rest. Yeah. Like, it's all the fundamentals. So anyway, I met my mentor. She taught me many of these things, went back to school, got my doctorate degree as a board certified doctor of naturopathy, studied all over the world, China, India, Sri Lanka, Europe, United States. And I was just on a quest to figure out, what actually works for people. I was one of the hardest cases there are. Everybody believes that the hardest case, and a lot of people are. Mm-hmm. And so the bottom line really is that I have something called the de-stress protocol. So diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotional balance, scientifically backed supplements, and a success mindset. But if you don't get the diet right, it doesn't matter how much you sleep. It doesn't matter how much you exercise. And it really doesn't even matter like how much you work on mindset, because you're putting oxidative toxic foods in your body. And so it has to start with whole food nutrition. And why, I know we can talk about so much today, but why are we talking about an organ complex? It just looks like this, it's capsules. Yeah. It's because if you follow Weston Price's work and you follow ancestry-based work, they didn't eat a ton of meat, but they ate meat, or they ate fish, and they actually ate the whole animal. They didn't throw out some of the most nutritious parts, which are the liver, the kidneys, spleen, like those types of organs. They just didn't eat massive amounts of them. And those organs actually provide a lot of the nutrients people are missing. Vitamin B12, iron in some cases for a lot of women, especially that are anemic. All of the B vitamins. B2 is very high in liver, copper, and much more, which is great for the thyroid and mitochondria. So I'll stop there, but we made it because most people don't like the taste of organ meat.
Yeah.
They have a difficult time finding grass-fed, New Zealand-raised, pasture-raised animals. And so this is basically a whole food capsule. I mean, that's all that it is. It's 3 full grams of organ meat, dehydrated, desiccated, put in capsules. You can even open it if you wanted to, and you get the nutrition right inside that.
Yeah, that's what I love. So, I focus in pediatrics, and try as I might to create that perfect recipe, it doesn't always go over very well with my kids and even myself to eat liver or heart or spleen. So, I look at it, and as I'm certain you do too, as Mother Nature's multivitamin. Mm-hmm. And I used to, even when my girls were little, take capsules and open them up. But to your point, I had a hard time finding quality capsules, but I would add them to their scrambled eggs or, smoothies or whatever. And now they take whole capsules. But from a dental perspective, I'm such a fan because of the fat soluble vitamins, the critical nature of vitamin D and vitamin K and magnesium and phosphorus and all these trace minerals. I don't think people realize really how nutrient dense organ meats are. Many animal species, the alphas will be granted the organ meat first from the kill, and that is because it is the most nutrient dense. And so this is just such a great way to get that into your diet. Is this something that you recommend patients take daily? Do you think it could be a great supplement for their multivitamin?
It's a great question. So I kind of look at it in 3 different camps. So I have an 8 and 10-year-old daughter. So they now swallow capsules as well. Probably from around like 5 or 6 years old, they were actually pretty good with capsules. I have a little trick for kids. So basically, and I'm sure I'm not the only one to think of this, they drink some water and then they put the capsule in and they float it when they're very young. And they just swallowed in the water. And so they were able to start taking a couple capsules that way when they were younger. Now, the thing is, anybody who has kids knows that some weeks they eat meat and some weeks they don't. Some weeks they'll eat beef and some weeks they won't. Like my oldest daughter, her favorite thing was steak for like 2 years and then she stopped eating it. And I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And so even though, the serving size is actually, it's 1 gram of liver, a 1/2 gram of heart, 1/2 gram of kidney, 1/2 gram of pancreas, 1/2 gram of spleen. So it's very nutrient dense. This is a strong product. It's 6 capsules, which equates to 3 grams of protein, 3 grams of iron, 1/2 gram of fat, because it's real food. But for kids, I would only do 2 capsules. That's what I do. And on the nights that they're not eating meat or whatever it is, you do 2 to 3 capsules with kids. How do I use it for adults? Well, if you're someone like me, I don't overdo meat, but I do eat meat like most days of the week. And so what I'll do is, though, I don't eat a lot of organ meat. The only time I eat organ meat is actually, we have a local farm and they'll do an 80% grass-fed beef with 20% organ.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic.
That's what we do too.
Yeah, and it's like, you barely taste it. And I get liver, I get kidney, and I get heart. I don't get the spleen, I don't get the pancreas, but that's an easy way to do it. And we do it for my daughters as well. So I take these capsules myself, since I am getting nutrients from beef most days, 2 to 3 times a week. So that's how I do it. Not every day, because I don't think that most people would eat organ meat every single day. I don't think they'd have access to that hundreds of years ago. I just don't think that's probably the way.
We wouldn't have had caught our game that frequently, I don't think. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And you'd be splitting it amongst so many people, in a tribe. And so you'd have a little bit, and that's kind of what this is. Now, who do I recommend it for every day? Well, if you're anemic, or you're not eating, like, let's say you don't eat meat, not for vegan-based reasons, because if you're vegan, of course, that's for spiritual reasons, it's for different reasons. So this product isn't for you. But if you don't eat meat because you have trouble digesting it, well, let's work on the digestion, of course.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, this is easy to digest nutrients. And so you can do 6 capsules a day for anemia, low copper, obviously iron, B12, different types of anemia. That's 3 different types of anemia right there, right? With copper, B12,
Yeah.
and iron. So
Yeah.
that's 3 times a week would probably be great.
Yeah, that sounds great. I like the meat blend recommendation too, just for people watching. My girls are the same age as yours, actually.
Oh, nice.
We do the same thing. Force of Nature, you can get shipped to your home. It's a pretty high quality ancestral blend, and we'll mix it up in meatballs or taco seasoning or pasta,
Yes.
like a meat sauce. Just a tip for the parents out there. But when that's not working for you, I'm a big fan of these supplements too. So I'm really excited you have this product. I'm really excited it's grass-fed. It's from New Zealand. Yes. Great.
Yeah, those are the most nutrient dense.
Yeah.
Icelandic-based meat and New Zealand, the soil still has all the nutrients that all of our soil used to have. And so, that's the thing. If you can get Icelandic meat-based product, pasture-based products, and same with New Zealand, it's the best quality.
All those trace minerals, like how we're so magnesium deficient now, we'll get plenty of it there. Well, this is really exciting. And so can people get this now? Has it officially launched?
Yeah, it literally just launched today. So it's by Equal Life, and it's called Grass-Fed Organ Complex.
Awesome.
And, right there on it, it says nutrition, because that's really what it is. If you open the capsules, it is actually whole food nutrition. It's just an easier way to get organ-based meat. It is expensive, regular organ meat, which, again, you want good quality organ meat, and you want to spend the money on meat. But this is also just another way to supplement that. And, when I look at my de-stress protocol, supplements are one of 8 parts. So I think that they're crucial for most people to heal, because when the digestion is weak and you're not absorbing the nutrients that you even need from good food, supplements help to give you a lot of that strength back to the body. And then you transition typically off to just like a baseline foundational plan. Yeah. So that's how we use it. It's worked great in our practice, and I wanted to be able to share that with others as well. So I appreciate it.
Really great. I know, so from a dental standpoint, so much happens in pregnancy with at least early dental development and oral facial development and skeletal development and jaw development. Obviously, people need to work with their personal physicians, but is this something that you would recommend to a pregnant woman?
It's not a bad idea, and here's why. When we look at what supplements should women use during pregnancy, it's a very short list. We don't do herbs, we don't do detox products. We're really just using the basics. Like a good methylated multivitamin is going to be crucial, because it's so hard to gauge with whole food. Are you getting enough folate or methylfolate? Do you have an MTHFR gene mutation? Well, it's like, it used to be 33% 20 years ago when I was researching this. Then like a decade ago, it was 40%. Now they're saying 50% of people may have this. And so it's kind of a safe bet. And then you've got some type of good quality omega, however you want to get that, wild caught fish, sardines, mackerel, etc. And then I look at probiotics, I look at things like that, but I don't do a lot of herbal or detox-based things. But this, again, is whole food. And I would definitely recommend this, especially during the last 3 to 4 months, during the last trimester, when most women are functionally anemic. And their doctors don't say that, but they are, because they've created so much more blood supply, and they're not getting the iron, copper, B12 that they need. Yeah,
I love that. And that's really a critical time for dental development too. And we're seeing a rise in hypoplastic or undermineralized teeth. I actually had anesthesia all day today. And every one of my cases, the children had really severe undermineralized primary teeth, which that's something that's happening with a deficiency in utero. And we do know it has a lot to do with fat soluble vitamins, magnesium, phosphorus, all these trace minerals that are really deficient in our diets. And so many of us are especially vitamin D deficient, magnesium deficient. So I'm a big fan of this during pregnancy as a supplement too. So thank you for creating this for us.
Well, I appreciate you teaching this as well, because that's so important to understand that it does not, the health of the child starts pre-pregnancy with the health of the mother's body, and then obviously during pregnancy, and then postnatal or post-pregnancy, because she's still most likely nursing the child. And so if she doesn't have the nutrients, so I just wanted to say, like, a lot of women, we as a culture are well fed but undernourished, right? So the food that we eat is so nutrient deficient, even a lot of the organic foods. Because the organic foods come from soil that does not have time to turn over. And there's no manure being used, and we're not getting those nutrients in there. So of course I recommend organic, but it just doesn't have the level of nutrients that we need. And women are being told to put on sunscreen every day. And again, like, you can go back and forth, pros and cons, but you're not getting the vitamin D. So if you're not getting the vitamin D, how you need that obviously for a developing child and for your own health as well. And so I'm really excited that obviously you're teaching that, and you're teaching it from the perspective of dentistry and whole health and pediatrics. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, to your point, we can see so much in the mouth and in the dentition, sometimes far before we see systemic issues pop up. So when children are, you know, if you're listening out there and your child suffers from a lot of decay, you seem like you're doing everything right with hygiene, you're not drinking sugary drinks and eating candy bars. I mean, I look to deficiencies. And so we do test for vitamin D, especially because I agree. So many women are, so many humans are vitamin D deficient, and it's not standard of care to test for this, which is so frustrating because of insurance hang-ups and things. So this is just a great way to get some extra nutrition. And I do agree with you with, you know, pre-conception, that time period is so critical. So if you are planning to conceive, this is something I would personally be taking to. Not all of us have that luxury to kind of plan that far in advance, but if you do, kind of cleaning up the system and really making sure you're nutritionally supported before you conceive would be optimal, of course. Well, Dr. Cabral, I know it's late there. I don't want to take up more of your time, but why don't you share where people can find more of your work, and then more about this product. And your team also was so gracious to give me a link that I will include for everyone listening in the copy, you know, in the text that I'll put with this. I will save this, and they're offering 20% off now for launch day. I didn't realize it was actually today, so congratulations. Yes. That's a really big deal. That feels good.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that. It takes a long time to really formulate these products. Yeah. And so we talk about them 6 months to 12 months before we ever see them. And so when they actually arrive, it's exciting because we don't put out a lot of new products, and we typically only put out a product if there's a need in the field. Like, it's not that we feel it's being done as well as it should, and it's becoming something popular that we don't want to be like, oh, let's go to Amazon and get an organ-based complex. Okay, but is it grass-fed? Because the organs of unhealthy animals are actually the unhealthiest part of an animal. And you don't want to eat liver from a non-grass-fed, you know, essentially pastured animal. It's worse for you than not eating it. So really, really important. So we state that, but my website is just StephenCabral.com. It's Stephen with a PH, and people will be able to find my book there, The Rain Barrel Effect, or the podcast. And
the book is amazing, everyone. The podcast is amazing. You are on my speed dial for podcasts I listen to weekly. So I much respect to you. You are a mentor of mine. So I very much appreciate you taking the time to share this with me and my followers. And thank you for putting such a high quality product out there. I will absolutely be recommending it to everyone. And thank you. You guys are sending me some sample too. So thank you for that.
Well, we appreciate you. Thanks so much for all the work that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. We'll hopefully our paths will cross again soon.
I'd like that. That would be great. All right.
Everyone, have a good evening. Thank you so much. And I will save this.
Excellent.
Take care.